Welcome to Grow Overload. And Nvidia announcing their SoC was really interesting at CES. One thing I wanted to talk about here is, and it's been rumored ever since that Windows kind of has Windows on ARM, is at what point, and even before that, we kind of knew that Nvidia wanted to have ARM CPU at some level because, well, they tried to buy ARM. And as Microsoft tries to put Windows on ARM, I think that there's also, you're going to have a little bit maybe more success with Linux on ARM right now. But with Windows on ARM, right, they want to have gaming. Even Qualcomm talked about how good their gaming was. Turned out to be a lie, but it was the one thing that they really focused on. Well, the one thing you get with Nvidia is maybe the CPU isn't as perfect as an Intel or an AMD with reliability in quotes of Windows, but as robust on Windows, I would say, as an ARM chip is currently, as Microsoft still goes through getting that up and running and ironed out. But one thing you will get though with an Nvidia SoC is you'll get their GPU, which can be quite impressive, right? Depending upon how they structure it and put it out there. So everyone's talking though that this whole SoC is just an Nvidia SoC. One thing that took away with, and kind of the confirmations of all this stuff and what Jensen was talking about was he was talking about MediaTek. And he mentioned MediaTek. Now, they're a competitor to Qualcomm and a lot of different things, but this whole MediaTek collaboration with it, I think, is going to be a sneaky win as well for MediaTek. Now, you always have to worry about what Nvidia does to some of its partners, right? We've all seen that. But this Project Digits, right, and everything that they've had with the MediaTek side of things is quite impressive. Now, you pair that down, and one thing I want to see is it's been rumored now that this might be coming to Lenovo laptops, which that'll be kind of cool. I think that what Nvidia should do is take it slow into the market and make sure that their SoCs are meeting the performance that they need to meet, and then more importantly, they need to be able to get past the Windows issues with Windows on ARM. And if they can work past those with hopefully Microsoft, and Microsoft continues to work past, I think it'll be a successful launch. But that's why I think they need to put them out slowly instead of just going full bore, because I think if they do that and it has any negative aspects to it, it can then create more negative aspects to other things and other product lines, which would be hard to do with their momentum. But it's one thing I would be concerned about. I'm sure Nvidia is concerned about it based upon rumors of they don't know exactly when to launch it, right? They don't know if they're coming with a desktop or a laptop, um, processor. When do we actually get this out to the users, right? That's one thing where you can have a good product and release it, and here your partner that's running the OS is absolutely screwing it up for you, causing you and your name to be dragged through the mud because it's working fine on other platforms that have much more longevity. And Qualcomm is kind of going through that now, right? Qualcomm is having problems with their, getting graphics drivers up, having boxes for developments out, all this other stuff. And you don't want to go through that same thing of having all these high claims and then all of a sudden people getting the device and being like, this doesn't work the way you said. Let's return it. This doesn't make it. I need something that works, right? And that's what Nvidia is going to have to combat here in all of this. But just think of an SoC. You get some ARM processors, get a graphics processor. If that can hand off, the ARM SoC, the ARM processors to the graphics SoC and get enough performance to play games, I think that this is going to be a very competitive product against AMD, which has been going through, and they got with the Halo X or Halo Pro stuff that they're coming out with. Oh man, their Halo product, or man, I'm blanking on their names, and I follow this stuff, but their Zen Halo product that'll have like they already named it like 40 CUs. I'm sorry, I'm blanking on it. I'm trying hard. here, that could be a very competitive or maybe even beat it out product. Now I expect AMD to get ready for another cycle of updates here, another generation of products, coming in late 2025, 2026 timeframe. So depending upon when NVIDIA releases, right, you're going to have that delay of when AMD releases. So you want to have some time before the next generation may beat you out. But this is where it gets fun, right? This is where, products start, cycles may get a little bit tighter because you're trying to beat the next person out, trying to beat the next product, trying to release newer products that are better. This is where, we as consumers get better products out of it for better prices, and that's what I like to see. So we'll see how this all goes. I think MediaTek, working with MediaTek was a great idea from Nvidia for these Project Digits. I really do hope that we get a socketed CPU that we can maybe throw a graphics card in and stuff, and have PCI slots. If Nvidia can do that with an ARM CPU, I'm here for it. In fact, I would probably try one out because I think that would be a really cool device to be able to work with. And more importantly, if Windows can get this all ironed out, I think Nvidia will be successful at this rather than them fighting. And uh, yeah, I think that would be a big issue. I think Nvidia would be really upset if Microsoft is the one holdup that screws all this up. So this has been fun to kind of see kind of come out. I do expect this to be more of a, you know, late 2025, 2026 type product. I I think with Microsoft, it's kind of that the 25H2 release, if that's what they're going to call it for their major Windows release, is probably going to be the the target for when Nvidia wants to kind of release these. And if I was Nvidia, I'd release them after that comes out. Make sure it rolls out, make sure things are working good. We had enough problems with 2024 or H2 or 24H2 with Windows 11. So I would go after that to make sure that you have the best possible launch and hopefully the best products of Microsoft ironing enough things out that you're on the right track and that you're building momentum rather than before maybe you're on 24H2 or 25H2 like a pre-launch and you have problems and people are getting it with problems in that OS. And I don't I wouldn't I don't if I was Nvidia, I wouldn't trust Microsoft to do the right thing, so I'd launch it after that update to try to hope to mitigate that problems. But that's me and based upon what Microsoft's been doing lately and how they've been approaching the problem. So let me know what your thoughts are on Project Digits, desktop laptop processors from Nvidia, especially with the MediaTek side. I think MediaTek is not being talked about as much in this rumor, but they are a huge winner out of this. I do expect at some point MediaTek maybe to be bought or closer conjunction with Nvidia, meaning that their mobile SoCs that they already have in mobile phones and stuff like this to receive some of that Nvidia IP for the graphics side. I would expect something like that as well. And I think that would be a logical you know merger or working with relationship with Nvidia at that point. That's just kind of how, Nvidia wanted to get into ARM SoCs. Do they buy MediaTek for that reason? That's something I've been thinking about too, is that you get some of this IP of all these processors across the board could be kind of interesting. Nvidia's been very focused on the whole AI side of things. This could be one more thing of making sure that they don't have to go to the outside for any IP to do anything. They've had their own internal stuff with ARM, but if you can merge with somebody that's been, very dedicated to it and get that benefit, that's not a bad idea either. So we'll see what Nvidia does. We'll see what they'll continue to work towards here with these SoCs, with these processors, and I'm excited to see what they can do. I think one product family that needs to be worried about it is Qualcomm. I think if Nvidia were able to do this, I for sure would go to an Nvidia one before I went to go to a Qualcomm one. And that would be one area where Qualcomm's got to be a little bit of, we got to make sure we hit this right, and which means they got to go to Microsoft and say, we got to make sure that this processor is spot on and right. Get this software right. We can't have these issues where people don't want to, stick with it. And then if Intel does not pick it up, that's going to be another easy avenue for Nvidia to chip away at. So with that, let me know your comments. Let me know your comments in the comments below, and your thoughts. I'll be great to interested in it. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon, and watch another one of my videos. That really does help out the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, God bless.